What's up, tube viewers? My name is Pax, and I'm speaking facts. And today, I'm here to talk to you guys about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm back like scoliosis and halitosis, and today, I'm going to react to Gervonta Tank Davis having an arrest warrant for his apprehension going on. What in the hell? Listen, people, keep your hands off of the women. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, you gotta learn to just walk away. We're gonna go over here to Fight Hub TV and we're gonna check out the content. We're gonna see what they have to say, and I'm gonna leave my colorful commentary along the way. So you guys bear with me. If this is your first time to the channel, please subscribe, like, leave a comment in the comment section, and let's get to it.
One of boxing's biggest stars now has an active arrest warrant, and this isn't just local police anymore. The U.S. Marshals are officially involved. Here's what happened, what the charges are, and why this situation just escalated.
We are here to address a domestic violence incident involving professional boxer Gervonta Davis, also known as Tank. The victim reported that Mr. Davis grabbed her by her back of her head, pulling her by her hair with one hand and by her throat with the other. He forcefully escorted her down a stairway and toward the parking garage while maintaining his grip on the back of her head. The victim further reported they were previously involved in an intimate relationship for approximately 5 months. Lead detective Gary Florencio obtained and reviewed video surveillance footage that corroborates key elements of the victim's statement. As a result of the diligent and hard work of our Special Victims Unit, an arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Bryant Davis on the following charges: battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping.
Man, these are extremely serious charges. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm victim blaming here or that I'm somehow trying to defend Tank Davis's actions. Obviously, I'm a fan of Tank Davis. I'm not really sure what all the details are that have led up to this incident. However, I do know that once U.S. Marshals are involved and once the federal government is involved and they decide to indict someone and litigate the charges, it is extremely serious.
Investigation determined that Mr. Davis used force to restrain and attempt to remove the victim from the location against her will. The Miami Gardens Police Department is actively working with the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and apprehend Mr. Davis.
What's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas for Fight Hub TV, and let's get straight into it because this is a serious and developing situation involving Gervonta Davis. So what exactly happened? According to law enforcement and court documentation, an arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Davis stemming from an alleged domestic violence incident that reportedly took place back in October in Miami Gardens, Florida.
A domestic violence incident. So somehow a domestic violence incident has turned into a federal case. This is the first I've ever heard of something like that happening. I can't imagine how his actions triggered the involvement of the U.S. government. I mean, they're gonna unpack everything that's going on, I guess, as we get to it. But man, this is some serious stuff taking place. And for him to be targeted by the U.S. government over these allegations is just unfathomable.
Police say the incident occurred at a gentleman's club where the alleged victim worked. The charges listed on the warrant are battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping
of a stripper. Shout out to the strippers, man. I love the strippers, man. I frequent the strip clubs from time to time. You know, I'm a supporter, but man, this has to stop, you guys. We have to do better about putting ourselves in situations where something like this can even take place, because this is just disgusting.
As of now, authorities say that Gervonta has not turned himself in, which is a critical detail in how this case has unfolded. And this is where things change. Miami Gardens Police confirmed they are working now with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and arrest Gervonta Davis.
FBI, open up!
That's not good, man. You do not want them alphabet boys coming up in your house while you're asleep or unsuspected. I'm sure Gervonta Davis, I'm assuming, again, these are all my perspectives, my opinions. I'm assuming that he's probably heard about this by now. And, it is probably extremely alarming to him. He probably is scared to death. I can only imagine how this would make someone feel, waking up and finding out that the federal government is hot on your heels as a result of a domestic violence incident that may or may not to have taken place, that's alleged to have taken place somewhere in Miami.
This doesn't just happen automatically. When someone has an active warrant and law enforcement believes they may be difficult to locate, avoiding contact, or capable of crossing jurisdictions, U.S. Marshals are often brought in. For you guys wondering, what exactly do the U.S. Marshals do? I got you. They are the oldest federal law enforcement agency in the country, operating under the Department of Justice, and they specialize in the following: tracking and arresting fugitives, assisting with high-profile warrants, running joint task forces with local police, protecting federal courts and judges. So
shout out to the men and women of the FBI and all of our federal government task force. As he just outlined, they are working together to bring him to justice. Running at this point is not a good idea. He's going to have to face the charges no matter what. However, I can only imagine that he is scared. There's no other way to put it. And we've seen in recent media how people have been treated by the U.S. government, whether or not, however you feel about the charges and allegations that were brought against them, you're entitled to that. But we've seen some of the people, high-profile individuals that have been brought to justice by the federal government. So I'm sure this is another example of, what's going to happen with Tank Davis in these allegations. However, I know he's scared.
when the marshals get involved, it's not like some small thing. It signals that authorities are treating the situation with a heightened level of urgency. So what does this mean for Gervonta's next fights, his career going forward? Well, one, I think he has to focus on this case, right? If he is convicted, it could lead to some jail time, and that's obviously going to postpone any plans he has for any fights in the future. This incident made it so that Anthony Joshua went in and took his spot for the Jake Paul fight that happened a few weeks back last December at the Kaseya Center.
Did you guys know that? Yeah, I kind of heard some speculation. Now that kind of makes more sense. This makes more sense, that there were some comments made by Jake Paul or his camp or something to the effect of he didn't want to support Tank Davis's behavior towards women or something to that effect. Again, I might be paraphrasing. These were alleged comments I might have heard somewhere. With all due respect to everyone involved, again, I'm just here to speak the facts and to cover this story. I don't want to offend anyone. And with that having been said, it makes a lot more sense why those statements may or may not have been made and why that fight didn't take place between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. And, this makes a lot more sense for it to have been heightened to this level and obviously being looked into by the federal government. It makes a lot more sense why that fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis did not take place.
Miami, Florida. I know if they do resolve this issue, they work something out, that the next couple of fights for Tank are going to be very much put under a microscope. He's going to have a lot of potentially negative attention, criticism from the public on those fights. I know there's lucrative rematches there for him with Lamont Roach, with Pitbull Cruz, amongst other fighters. The winner of potentially Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez would be a big fight for him as well. But you got to ask yourself too, how are the commissions going to react to this? And if they're going to give any issues to him in terms of licensing him for fights in their state. It's important to say this clearly. These are accusations at this point.
Absolutely.
He hasn't been convicted of anything. But Unresolved legal issues like this just don't disappear overnight, especially once federal resources are involved.
And I agree wholeheartedly. Shout out to Tank Davis. Again, I'm a fan. I love what the young man has done in the ring. He's a pugilistic specialist. He's a knockout artist. He's a great young man. These allegations are not good, you know, especially when it's caught the attention of the federal government. I have never heard of a domestic violence charge being handled by the federal government. However, that doesn't mean anything. Of course, we want to see Gervonta Tank Davis resolve these charges amicably. We want to see his legacy be upheld and continue to move forward. And we want to see Tank Davis resolve these charges in a way that is progressive. We'll say progressive. I apologize. We want to see these charges be resolved progressively, meaning some way that we can all learn from it. You know, domestic violence is a huge problem in this country. It's something that we all need to take accountability for. We all need to learn to communicate more effectively in our relationships. And by no means, once the communication shuts down, are we as men and even women sometimes to resort to violence. You cannot grab someone by the hair, by the neck, put your hands on them, and then expect nothing to happen. Okay, so we have to learn to do better. We all need to do better in the community. My name is Pax, and I'm just here speaking facts. You guys let me know in the comments section how you guys feel about this situation. And until next time, take care of yourself, man. I'm out of here.